Not to be left out in this when I mentioned wildlife earlier, but we also have little wildlife that is very important to vegetable and crop production as well. The pollinators are crucial for our vegetable and fruit crops here. I don't know if anybody's heard in the news lately, but this was a very tough winter on honeybees. So a lot of producers are very worried if they're going to have the bees around to pollinate the tomatoes, the apples. Everything that flowers needs some sort of pollinator. The good thing is there's a lot of native pollinators out there that if we give them a little extra stuff, a little extra habitat to be around, they can pick up a lot of that work for us. So we're encouraging producers to take those odd areas of your farm, odd areas in your yard, and create these habitat zones here for bees and all kinds of different insects that could potentially be pollinators for us. Now, earlier I mentioned a little bit of some good grazing practices here. I have a couple pictures of here where we show rotational grazing and actually grazing cover crops in the fall for cattle to be out further in the growing season or later in after the corn or beans or the main crop comes off. We put cover crop down. Cover crops protect the soil, but they could also be a food source for your livestock. So that's been catching on very well here. And the picture to the right is actually what we call a chicken tractor. There's a few producers around who are raising poultry this way, and they actually move the pen in the field and every day, and the poultry will graze, if you will, the insects and you actually eat some of the grass and so forth. So there's egg production being done this way. People are raising pullets and turkeys and very environmentally friendly way. Now, this is a great practice to use for small-scale farms as well. I have some information over here talks about one of our cost share programs, but the Environmental Quality Incentives Program is a program that USDA cost shares with producers to put in conservation practices. It's a very popular program, and it's for working agricultural lands. But we have some special funding for specialty crops, organics, and livestock practices as well. So if you're interested in that, or you know people who might be interested in that, please share this information with them. And one of our newest practices we just started this year is these seasonal hoop or high hoop tunnels. And this is a way to extend the growing season for fruit and vegetable crops. We have a handful of producers here in the county that have used it, and we're trying to get it incorporated more throughout the year. Another good way to extend the local growing season here for folks. Start earlier in the spring and make it last further into the fall so you can keep those fresh crops coming to the local markets. Speaking of local markets, we have a flyer up front here that lists the participants in the local Lancaster Farmers Market. So if you're interested in folks who are involved with that, or you want to get involved with that, please pick up one of these flyers over here on the table. Again, some more pictures of the high tunnel and how they might work. They're great for, they help reduce pesticide use. They protect the soil pretty well and have the potential to really increase your yields as opposed to just traditional methods where you're relying on Mother Nature for all the rain and sunlight support. This gives it's a pretty light, but it gives some of the specifics of the program. But our cost share program here will cost share on a 2,178 square foot high hoop house to get started. It is a competitive program. We've had many producers apply for it this year. Not everybody's going to get funded, but we hope to really pump this for the next few years and have a way for local farmers to really utilize this. And again, here's one in motion here. I wanted to point a couple things out. This particular hoop house is probably 20-25 foot wide. You see a little tiller in there that's being used. A lot of hand work is involved, so you need to have a strong back or lots of young help maybe around for you. Notice there's some netting there on the left side there, and that's a pest netting there that they use to keep some of the critters off of there, off your plants. The big thing about this is you can maybe get a jump on the market 2 to 3 weeks ahead of crops that are grown outside, and that can be real beneficial as well. So I guess if you have any questions, again, my name is Dave Libben. Our offices here in Fairfield County are out next to Ohio University campus there on College Avenue. We are the Ag Service Center. We're out in the same building that the Farm Service Agency and Ohio State University Extension. We're all grouped in the same building there. So with that, I'm wrapped up, and I'll take some questions or turn it over to the next speaker. Well, I'll defer my time to Dave Brandt when Dave gets up here to talk, because he can answer all the technical questions on how to grow in these things. So, thanks, Tracy.